so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live. Welcome to the Drop Shot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 158.
Is that
My
accurate?
name is, I believe it's accurate. That's what
Cool.
is written down here. Let's find out. Let's take a little look, dude. My name is Casey, also known as It Is 158. Razanon, I am joined by my good friend, Tanner. Tanner, you got a little mess going on behind you, buddy. What's going on? What's the issue?
Is there a mess?
There's a little bit of it's a little unkempt. It's a little untidy.
That mess
Yeah.
has been there for 6 weeks, so it's crazy you're just now noticing it.
It's because your lighting is different now, maybe?
I turned my lamp on, my floor lamp, a little bit brighter this time, because I felt like it was too dark in here. I don't know why. So I
Maybe
turned it
that's
up
why
brighter.
then. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, man. All right, well, welcome to the show. Today, unsurprisingly, we are going to be discussing our first impressions of Season 5. And spoiler alert, it's going to be... We are much happier with this than we have been with an update in quite a while. If you guys watched our gameplay stream yesterday, thedropshot.com/live, figure it the fuck out, make it your homepage, then you would probably already be able to guess that. But we're going to go, of course, more in-depth, more detailed, and talk about pretty much everything that we've tried with Season 5 and its release. And I'm excited to get into it. But first, a couple of announcements. First of all, Brian, your gameplay breakdown is done. Okay. We're working on a thumbnail because my thumbnails are trash. So we're outsourcing it. We're figuring it out. Once it's
You're
up,
trash at most things, yeah.
well, then we will have the gameplay breakdown on the YouTube. And again, we will let you know once that's up. We'll let everyone know. And to our Damascus patrons, feel free to submit your gameplay in the Discord, and your gameplay can be broken down as well. And Patreon is the best place to support this dumb fucking podcast. Patreon.com/thedropshot. One word. Bonus eps. Weekly hangouts like we had last night, where Jaren...
Fuck Jaren.
Every factual statement he made was incorrect last night.
You were fact-checked, too. Hold on. You were
single
fact-checked.
One. No, I wasn't. That's fake news. What was I fact-checked on, Tanner? Let's do a fact-check on you.
What was it?
Hey,
What did I fact-check
what was I
you on?
fact-checked on? Let's fact-check
I don't remember, because
you.
everyone was being fact-checked, except for me, of course. I don't remember.
Oh, well.
All I know is J-Web
Well.
thought there were only 60 cities in the country, so that's all that matters.
That
really.
was fantastic. Jaren thought an Irish wolfhound weighed more than a wolf.
Jaren thinks his 40-pound dog weighs 90 pounds, and then showed us
Sure.
a picture, and it's a 40-pound dog. It's 60.
Jaren's had the same scale
Yep.
for a long, long time. This is what I figured it out. Because everything he thinks weighs something, he says it weighs that times 2. So Jaren's been working with a broken scale for years now. He thinks his 40-pound dog is 90 pounds. He thinks Irish wolfhounds are fucking 250 or something. They're not. They're like 120 at the large end, might I add. All kinds of other things too that I can't remember at this time. Everything weighs more than he thought it did. Made me furious. And so I had the distinct displeasure of trying to convince adult grown men who are at least bright enough to be able to turn on a computer that they could not kill a wolf with their bare hands. I was unsuccessful in this task. Still can't believe it. Had nightmares, didn't sleep well. And it's Jaren and Face Esquire and Mullet's fault. Fuck you guys.
What did
you
Mullet
ruined
do?
my evening. Oh, he said he could kill a wolf.
What did Face
too.
do?
He said he could kill a wolf too, and so did Face. And fuck all of them.
Well, Mullet's an athlete. I'll give him that. He's more of an
Cool.
athlete than most people that say they could kill wolves.
That's fair. That's
I
fair,
think
right?
I think humans can kill wolves, but not just the average dipshit. Put me up against a wolf. I'm gonna die. But there's people out there that could do it. Absolutely, yeah. Not everyone, but some people can, yeah.
So if you want to subject yourself to this torture, patreon.com/thedropshot, we hang out every week and do different things, a variety of activities, some of which are this, which is, I mean, I should have to pay you to come try and debate this topic as if there was something worth debating. Anyways, patreon.com/dropshot, and we appreciate it. And mainly bonus episodes. That's what you'd want to sign up for the normal functioning adults out there listening. None of you are that, but tournament registration is closed.
Yeah. That's cool.
So
you guys wanted to play? That sucks.
That sucks for you. You had ample opportunity to figure it the fuck out. Now, luckily, though, we filled almost every slot, which is awesome. So we're going to have just about 2 full-ass lobbies competing for a $500 United States prize pool. And we are very excited for it. Production quality is going to be much better. The format is much more interesting and exciting from a viewer perspective. It's going to be an absolute extravaganza, dude. It's going to be a broadcast, a production, the likes of which you may have only seen if you were on the field at a Super Bowl, basically. I mean, that's the caliber of show, theater that we're going to put on. You ever wish you could see a Shakespeare play when Shakespeare was alive?
Never.
Ever wish you could see Romeo and Juliet the first time it was performed?
Not once, no.
With Francis Bacon beating off in the backstage?
Never. I've never wanted to do that, no.
Well, if you have, make sure you're here for the tournament. August 21st, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Get here a little early. We're going to start a little early, vibe, have fun. And it's going to be an absolute broadcast, an absolute event. And in all seriousness, Tanner and I are extremely, extremely excited for it. So make sure you're here to watch. And to all of you who have signed up, we really appreciate it. We were not sure how many people would sign up. We were hoping we would just about fill every slot, which is exactly what happened. So when we have as many teams competing as we have now gotten, thanks to you guys, it makes for, unless Tanner and I fuck it up, which is of course possible, an excellent event, a really fun and exciting event. And we're really thrilled about it, and we're really looking forward to it. So thank you guys who have signed up and asked for the day off work and all that shit. And everyone else, be there live or you're banned. I've made a list.
Yep.
Tanner, how many teams do we have signed up? Do you know? Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Other than that, okay,
you
cool,
have access
thanks.
to the document, not me. Maybe you should
Cool.
check, right?
And thanks. Now,
Nice.
last announcement we have tonight before we get into it. We have a Patreon episode. It is up. It is live. And in that episode, Tanner and I talked about what we would do if we were competing in the Drop Shot Invitational number 3. So many of you may have listened already. Some of you may be patrons and have not listened. If you're competing, I would recommend it. Even if you don't want to take any of our advice, you can at least do some weird game theory shit where you listen so you know what everyone else listened to, and maybe you can guess who will copy our strategy, who won't, and kind of, play some mind games that way. But for real, it was a very well done episode. There are only 6 ways to the top of prison, and fuck Jake down. And I think it went really well, and it could have some real utility, actually. And even if you're not going to be in the tournament, I think it is also useful for anyone who plays Rebirth Island in general, really. Most of the tips are applicable globally on that map, and even some to just Warzone in general, I think. So that is something you guys should listen to, especially if you're competing. But even if you just play Rebirth, that is the latest Patreon episode, and it is up. Tanner, anything else you want to say with your face?
Yeah, somebody offline subbed to me the other day. Who was that? Sage Legacy. Thank you very much for the offline sub, dude. That was 5 days ago, so I forgot about it for the Wednesday pod. But Sage, thank you very much for the offline Twitch sub. Other than that, yeah, I'm excited for the tournament. 1 p.m. next week, next Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific. The other time zones don't matter, but it'll be fun. We're gonna get
active.
We're gonna get everything finalized Monday. Make sure everything's working. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Yeah, I may shit and fart in my pants before, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun and exciting for sure. So,
Tanner will shit in his pants. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So,
I get nervous for things.
That's it. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Claptimus! Thanks for the tier 1 for 16 months, dude. Claptimus, one of the OGs, one of the founders. He got one of those founders badges when I told everyone they would be worth $100,000 one day. He got one. He was smart. Clap, thank you for the 16 months, man. And Toady Boy with the 500 biddies. Toad. You're a god, too. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you both.
Sheesh. All right.
Stop.
Welcome.
Don't do that.
Sheesh.
You should have done that like 3 months ago.
Meme. I know.
Yeah, that's a dead meme. Dead meme, dead podcast. Yeah, this is cringe.
Plus cringe, plus ratio, yeah. Welcome to the show. Today we are talking about our Season 5 initial impressions. Tanner has titled this erroneously Warzone Season 5 initial impressions cringe.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you can talk about Cold War. I haven't played it yet, but sure.
Okay, so we'll start there. So Tanner and I have played mostly Warzone since Season 5 has launched. However, I have played some Cold War. On launch night, in fact, I booted up the game. I got the EMS, the ambulance. I don't know what it's called, and
EM2.
I don't care.
EM2.
Okay, fuck that name. Anyways.
It's the Brits, man. They can't make guns. It's cringe.
They can't even name them.
They should outsource all of their gun manufacturing to anywhere else. It's cringe.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. Anyways. Whatever. I played Cold War with that gun, the AR, and I played it on the new map, which is another Season 5 edition I've tried. So here was my experience. Okay. I patched the game quite quickly, I might add, because no one's playing Warzone, so the servers weren't overloaded or anything, I guess. So that was kind of nice. Patch it, get into Cold War, get the EM2, equip it. And then I look for the Slums 24/7 playlist.
Yeah. Did you find it?
You know what's super interesting about that question, Tanner, is the answer is no, I didn't find it.
Oh.
I didn't find it, and after a lengthy search and some research, in fact, I learned somehow the only 24/7 playlist I really, really wanted doesn't exist. So when fucking Express remasters
Awful map.
a map that is not very popular, it gets its own playlist for 4 months. Slums, fan favorite, one of the best Call of Duty maps of all time. Go and fuck yourself, said Treyarch to me. Cool. So what did I do? I played Echelon 24/7. Spoiler alert, fuck that map.
Whoa.
Not good. It's not a good map. There are a lot of dumb little dog shit cringe angles, and it's dog shit. Real bad. So, for example, I don't know where you are. You're on a Splitgate map because it's just like this fucking
You're in the air.
Lunar base.
You're on an echelon.
That's okay. Whatever. Okay. And then there are buildings and structures and rooms and shit. And you can walk like around the outside of every building. So imagine a building that is on the edge of a map. Okay. You would think, if you're looking at that building, that someone could come from the door to the building or middle, not the building. That's what I thought, because I'm an idiot. So I would be waiting or going through, expecting someone in the door or at the middle of the map, and he just comes out of the ether, much like a portal, and just fucks my ass. And then I watch the kill cam, and there's like this dumb wooden plank on the outside of the map, basically attached to the room. Cringe. Trash map. And what this results in is it makes what appears to be a 3-lane map not a 3-lane map. Now it's a 5-lane map. Fuck you. And fuck you. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing 5-lane maps. Now it's not a wide lane, because you can just walk around the edge of it, but it's still trash. And it's not like one building you can walk around the edge of either. It's most, if not all of them. Really bad map. No flow whatsoever.
Really?
Hate it. And I gave it a good try too. I played it for probably an hour, hour and a half. Did not like it. Couldn't get into it. Fuck that map. It sucks. And mid, there's like nasty head glitches. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb. And there are long sight lines. Guess who got reamed by snipers? This guy. Me. Razanon. Fuck that map.
Damn.
Not good. The weapon, on the other hand, the EM2. Pretty good. Pretty good in Cold War. It comes with like an integrated scope, so if you have no attachments, you do get an optic. It's good. It's pretty good.
Is it better in Cold War than in Warzone? That optic? Because in Warzone, I hate it.
I don't think I used it in Warzone. I don't know what it's like in Warzone.
Okay.
Because I already had attachments by the time I played Warzone with it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, I don't know. But in Cold War, it was like fine. It wasn't great or anything. Like, it wasn't as good as like a mini reflex or anything. But it was fine. Decent amount of zoom, but it was definitely serviceable. And the gun itself fucks in Cold War. It's not much recoil, very slow fire rate, pretty chunky. And satisfying to use, actually. The biggest issue is the magazine size is trash, and the reload size isn't great either. Now, again, when I was playing Cold War, I had no attachments. So if I had a magazine attachment, that probably wouldn't have been an issue. But still, there do exist guns where you have no magazine attachment, and it's fine. Like a good 30-round mag with a decent reload size speed, those guns exist by default. This is not one of them. All in all, though, fine in Cold War. Not overpowered, not underpowered. It's a gun. And then, so I was tired of Echelon over it, never playing it again. So then I queued for Domination and Hardpoint 24/7, trying to get slums. Another hour of my life pissed away, not getting slums. Finally get slums. Destroy everyone on the map. Destroy everyone. Easily win. Just fuck kids up,
You
dude.
did. What game mode?
Hardpoint. No, Dom.
Slums Hardpoint is really fun.
Slums Hardpoint is great. I wish it had been, but no, it was dumb. And I fuck. I just fuck. Now, why is that? Because I'm a god, number one, obviously. Number two, because it's a good map, and gods do well on good maps. Number three, because I'm very familiar with it, of course. And number four, the reason I'm familiar with it, 3B, if you will, is that it is a carbon copy of the original Slums. There's nothing different about it at all. If there is, it's like the text on the sign is like different or something. But there's like, functionally, there's absolutely no difference. That is exactly what I wanted. And unsurprisingly, exactly as expected, Slums plays exceptionally well in Cold War.
Nice.
Didn't get sniped once because I avoided the like one area you can get sniped from. And I just had a ball. Just had an absolute blast. Really fucking good map. Really super fun in Cold War, actually. I was genuinely enjoying myself. And then after that match, it wasn't Slums anymore, and I got off the game. That was my last game. Because I just played until I could play Slums. And then I was like, damn, this is awesome, as I expected. And then Vundi just snatched it away from me.
Yeah, how can they put out a map like Slums Remastered and not put it as a 24/7 playlist and instead choose Echelon over that? I'm genuinely confused. Like, do you not know what the players want there? Or what? I don't. Probably 80% of the player base would take Slums 24/7 over Echelon. That's very weird that they did that. I don't. Or just have them both. Is Nuketown in right now? Nuketown 24/7?
Nuke jacked.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe. Like, take that out and put Slums in. What are they doing? That's a...
They should take that out and put in Slums. That's the reality. Yeah.
Nuketown has been its own playlist in some form for almost the entirety of Cold Wars since it was released. It's rarely not been its own playlist. Like, put Slums its own playlist. Come on.
I still can't believe it's not. So that pisses me off. And I would have actually gotten every gun max level if I could have played Slums 24/7. But
yeah, that sounds fun.
Either way, though, the map is very good. Slums
they changed anything with it? Like any angles
Not
at all?
Not a goddamn thing.
Good. Yeah, good.
Not a goddamn thing. It's exactly the same. I was even the spawns are the same. I was spawning in and I was like, damn, dude. I got like BO4 flashbacks, like actually.
Yeah.
I was just in the same spot. Your teammates are spawning in the same spots. It was cool. It was cool. God, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to play that.
I would too, but you have to wade through an hour of dog shit maps first. So anyways, that's Cold War. Haven't played too much of it, but that's what we've played. I haven't not played Double Agent yet. I'm not hearing great things online about it, frankly.
Well, it's what we expected. It's not good in pubs. Shocker. Yeah, right. Big shocker, Treyarch. You didn't see that one coming? Wow. But people say it's pretty fun if like everyone has a mic or it's like, you know, you're in like you got your buddies or whatever playing.
Yeah, exactly. So as far as new season 5 shit for Cold War, that's all I've done. Tanner hasn't done anything. Now, let's get into Warzone. We played Warzone for, according to Tanner's calculations, 3.5 hours yesterday, which is a nice, long, good session. And we either did not see a cheater once, or Jake saw maybe a cheater.
Fuck Jake.
Now, that is unusual, especially lately. That is very unusual. And I've been hearing reports that many other people have been seeing far fewer cheaters as well. So, a couple things on that. Number one, we told you so. Right? I mean, let's just be honest and admit it. We told you so. And number two, great. Guess what? When there aren't people cheating in Warzone, I have a lot of fucking fun. And I had a lot of fun playing Warzone yesterday.
Warzone's a pretty fun game. Yeah, who would have thought?
It was actually quite fun. Like, I really enjoyed myself. And I was very pleased that I did not see many cheaters, if any. And I was like, damn, dude, I could have kept playing. Like, I could have kept playing. I was getting hungry and people were getting off, so I didn't. But I could have kept going. I was having a lot of fun. I missed Warzone. And hopefully it's back. Hopefully it's been reclaimed. This could be a coincidence that we didn't see that many cheaters. It could be a result of the 50,000 accounts banned. I'm not so confident in either of those hypotheses, though. I think more it is that they are doing what our source told us they were doing, which is just banning more readily. That's my guess. Now, we don't know that for sure, but they've done ban waves of 50,000 before, and it felt exactly the same the next day. And there have been coincidences before, but with that few cheaters for that long, that's an awfully big coincidence. And I don't feel like I've had that happen in a very long time. What were your thoughts on Warzone yesterday?
I haven't seen really almost anyone complaining about the cheaters on Twitter or anything. Now, granted, a lot of those people probably aren't playing Warzones. That's why they're saying things like that. But even in chat earlier, somebody, I think it was Mitch, said he only ran into one cheater today. And he was like, I think he said one cheater in 5 hours. Whereas, like, usually it's pretty much one every other game or something. So, yeah, it was feeling good for sure. It was really fun. But yeah, supposedly there was one cheater, like one of the last games we played. Raz and I didn't see it. It was the other two people we were playing with. They claimed the person that killed them was cheating. Our teammates aren't very good. I think they're like a 0.4 and like a 0.5 KDs. They don't really know what they're doing. So they probably just thought the person was cheating and they were better than them. That's my guess. Because Jake Down and Grim have low KDs.
Yeah, that's true. So, maybe. What loadout were you using yesterday?
I mostly ran I was running the MAC-10 and the Swiss, and then I was running the Krig and the MAC-10, mostly. I used the EM2 a little bit. I need to finish leveling it up, though. I was leveling it up before in Plunder. I would have used it more if we were playing Rebirth, but because we were on Verdansk, I'm like, I'm not going to use, like, a shit attachment gun until it's almost max level, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah, Krig felt really good. Swiss always feels good. Mac has always feels good. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, what changed was the red doors. We learned this. I took one, and then I was in a corridor with 8 doors in it. There were like 3 or 4 or 5 actually. I don't remember.
Or 6.
So I was lost, and I was like, "Wait, what? This isn't the normal red door." So that was not a cool addition. So now, evidently, Elle told me later, you take a red door, you're in the Chamber of Secrets, and doors are talking to you. You have to actually fucking listen to whichever door is whispering for you to come hither or something, and then you go through that one and you get loot. And if you don't get the right one, it just, I don't know where it takes you. When I did it, guess which door I picked? Not the right one. Went through the wrong door, and then I just, like, was falling out of the sky. Which is fine, because I just, like, parachuted in, and then we won that game, of course, because of me. I had the disgusting flank from the sky. Like a god, like Ezekiel, just coming down from the heavens. But still, kind of dumb. I don't know what this adds to the gameplay experience. The red doors are kind of dumb already, and now you're adding like some mini game that isn't fun. It's not a fun mini game. That's the thing about it. Is that it isn't fun for me to go through a red door, see 6 doors, and then walk up to them one by one and like turn my headset up and tell my teammates to shut the fuck up so I can see if the door is saying, "Come over here, kid." Like, what is the appeal of that new mechanic? Ugh.
Maybe one of them will be saying Vanguard soon. Vanguard. Should we do an ASMR stream, guys?
No, we absolutely shouldn't. Absolutely not. But really, like, I don't understand why that is, like, interesting or whatever.
I don't either, but it seriously is going to have something to do with the COD 2021.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's some sort of teaser, some dumb shit. Maybe it's going to be like pretty soon when you start going through doors, it's going to give you like a short 3-second teaser of something. Then you're going to go through the door and end somewhere on the map. I don't know. It has some effect on it, I'm sure. I don't really see the reason otherwise for them doing that, but who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, probably, but also they've added a bunch of dumb shit that doesn't matter before, so that could be that too. But I do think you're right. It probably has something to do with that. Anyway, not a big deal, because you get the wrong door or whatever, you just drop back in. Still, that's new. I was using the EM2 and a OTS 9 until I got the Tech 9, and then I switched to that. Neither of them are max level for me. My EM2, I started, I don't know, halfway through. Not many good attachments. Like, no meta attachments when I started, and except the Axial. And then the Tech 9, I mean, I was playing with it at level 1, so it had nothing. I was using it semi-auto in Warzone and killing people with it. And now it's higher level, obviously. But so on the Tech 9, I have no thoughts. I don't have it full auto yet. I haven't used it at its even close to its full potential, so I have really nothing to say about it personally. The EM2, on the other hand, so for the majority of the stream, I had these attachments: axial, a barrel, foregrip, regular suppressor, and 50 round mags. So 2 of those 5 attachments are the attachments I would use if it was max level. What I did not have was agency suppressor, task force barrel, field agent grip. So that's what I was missing off of the meta loadout. Despite that, the EM2 kind of fucks. Really fun to use, very little recoil, and that's without 3 attachments that are going to help my recoil even more, by the way. Cringe. And chunky. It's a chunky boy. Now, it has a very slow rate of fire. It's slower than an AMAX. It is slower than... What's the other one we compared it to? Fuck. What was the other one we compared it to?
AMAX. Krig?
No, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, what was that gun? I don't know.
It has a slower rate of fire than an AMAX. So that's kind of C58. That's kind of the vibe I get off of this gun. Is it's sort of like a new AMAX. Actually, you know, it would be even more appropriate to say it's sort of like a new C58 with less recoil than a C58 and a slower fire rate. So you're kind of trading a little RPM for better recoil control. Because even without 3 of the recoil attachments, it felt incredibly easy to control. So I imagine once I have, again, agency, field agent, and task force barrel, it's going to be like a fucking laser. And the downside of it is really only the very slow fire rate. But the damage makes up for it, and the TTK, which we'll get into, is very competitive despite the fire rate. And that just goes to show you how much damage each bullet does. Now, on the ADS mobility front, I don't remember anything about it. And what that tells me is that it isn't very fast, and it's not very slow either. Because if I don't remember how fast it ADS'd, that meant it was fine. If it was real snappy and quick, I would remember, and if it was real fucking slow, I'd remember too. I don't remember either, so it's probably fine. It's fine ADS time, and the mobility is fine. But those things don't matter as much for your long-range AR anyway, so it's a good gun. It's a good gun. You said you used it very little. When did you use it at all? Did you pick up some other kids, or what?
I was using it, I used it in Plunder for probably 3 rounds before we played. I used it in Plunder, and then I used it 1 or 2 times, I think. Was it 1 or 2? I don't know. I used it at the very beginning of our session, but not for long, because it's just... If we were playing Rebirth, I was going to use it, but you can't use a gun that's not level 45 plus in Verdansk.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to get fucked. If it was Rebirth Resurgence, I would have been fine doing that, but that's just not fun on Verdansk, so... yeah, I could tell, though, it is similar to an AMAX again, and like a C58, like you're saying. It deals a lot of damage at a slower fire rate. It's got that smaller magazine size again, so, you know, it's like the C58. By the way, that magazine size, JGod put out some little notes here. 1,690 damage per mag, which is more than an AMAX, Farah, and Krig can do in one magazine. So it has the potential to kill quickly. But it has that recoil added, like the C58. So, my thoughts are, my initial thoughts again, not max level. Krig and Farah are the default easy ARs to use in Warzone. They're simple. You don't have to be skilled at all to use those guns. They don't have recoil. They're very easy to use. C58, EM2, AMAX are like the higher tiered guns for players that can control that recoil, because they can be really good, especially if you hit headshots, but they're harder to control than a lot of the other ARs because of that recoil. It's cool that it has that default scope, and this would have been a game changer, I think, if that default scope was good. If that was like a really good scope and you could use 5 different attachments, this would be an entirely different story. The EM2 would, I think, be a really good gun. I mean, just being able to add little things like have really fast ADS on an AR and not have to use an optic, that would have been great. But the optic on it is just it's just terrible, so you can't use it. So that kind of sucks, because that would have been fun if you could, just keep that set up. That would have been, it would have kind of switched things up too, because it's like you can use this gun's default optic. That's cool. You can't really do that for most guns. There's not a lot of guns that even have that.
Yeah, there aren't.
I'm trying to think. Are there any other ARs that come with an optic?
Cold War AUG does.
In terms of ARs, though, there's not, huh? Cold War AUG is a tactical rifle.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, not that I can think of. I don't think so.
Yeah. But again, so mine's not fully leveled, but I can't see this gun as of now being meta over a Krig, Farah, C58, any of those things. Now, it can be good if you hit your shots, like I was saying. So JGod already put out actually some quick stats for it. Long range, if you're getting one headshot in the mix, the time to kill is 565 milliseconds. The next fastest AR that people use for a long-range AR is pretty much like the Farah at 684. So that's over 100 milliseconds slower.
Even if you get one headshot with the Farah at 684.
Yeah, even if you get one headshot with the Farah. So this has the potential to be really good, but again, smaller magazine size. So if you miss a shot, that's worse than missing a shot with a Farah. More recoil, slower rate of fire. So those aren't great combinations, but if you're a really, really good player, or you're cheating, the EM2 is going to be a good gun for you.
yeah, true.
Because this thing is just nuts at range.
Yep.
But you have to get the headshot in there. If you don't get the headshot, it's pretty much in line with everything else. It's like in line with the Farah, Krig, Cold War AK, things like that. So,
yeah, and it's pretty easy to get a headshot in. I'm of the opinion in FPS games in general, honestly. The FPS games I play anyway. I almost never go for headshots. The only time I do is if I'm sniping.
Yeah.
In Warzone. Then I'm only going for headshots. But with like any other gun at any other range, I'm not doing that. I'm aiming at center mass and I'm going to try and hit them a lot. But with most guns, EM2 included, recoil kicks up, so you'll often sprinkle in a nice little treat. A nice little headshot treat, and all you need is one to just destroy, just smash the TTK way lower, and it fucks for sure. When I am hitting all my shots, and again, I don't have all the recoil shit yet, it fucking fries. Yeah, it feels really good. It feels fun to use too. So the smaller magazine size, a point on that doesn't matter. You have 50 instead of 60. But because this gun fires so fucking slowly...
I thought you can only get 40.
Is it?
I think it's only 40 on this gun. That's the issue with it, is it's a 40-round mag. I thought, isn't it?
I think it's 50.
Okay.
There is a 40
Maybe.
for sure. But I think
because
it's
that'd be
50.
a lot of damage per mag if it's only a 40. But no, I think that's right. I think it's 40. Anyways, move on.
Chat, can you tell us what the 4th magazine attachment for the EM2 is in Warzone? 50.
There is a 50. Okay. Got it.
So 50 on the EM2, like you'll empty a Farah 60 round mag before an EM2's 50 round mag, probably.
True.
So the 50 rounds, it doesn't matter that much just because the gun fires so fucking slowly. I agree with Tanner that the EM2 is probably not going to be... It might become meta with like tournaments and like streamers and good players and shit. But in general, milling around Verdansk, people who are going to win in your lobbies, you listening, probably not going to be using the EM2 very often. They'll probably be using a Krig or a Farah because they're just way easier to control. Yeah. And their TTKs are about as fast, and they're just so much easier. The reason, though, I don't think it's so much the recoil, because again, once I get all the recoil attachments, I don't think the EM2 is going to have any recoil. I really don't. So unfortunately, every Cold War AR is just far too easy to use, and it makes them all the fucking same. The EM2, though, I think it won't be super meta because it fires so slowly. I don't think it's the recoil that's going to keep it from being the super popular. I think it's the dog shit fire rate.
Interesting.
Because if you do miss a shot, you've lost so much time to kill because the next bullet isn't coming out for so long.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the recoil. I really don't. Maybe it's different if you're on the sticks, because it is harder to control long range guns on the sticks. That is true. That's possible, but boy, I don't even have the attachments, and it feels very easy to control for me right now. Very easy. And once I get Field Agent and all that shit, I'm a god, I guess. Yeah, I'm used to recoil. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I feel like what this gun is probably going to be most similar to really is like a Cold War AK. Slow fire rate, decent amount of recoil, but also it hits really hard.
Fucks.
But you know, probably a little bit easier to control than the Cold War AK. But yeah, it's hard to say on that because my Cold War AK is max, my EM2 is not.
Yeah. All in all, good addition to the game, though. I'm glad that it is. Here's what's not in dispute. It's usable and it's not overpowered. Those are things that I can say with confidence. And that's good. That's what you want. You want guns that you can use that aren't OP. And the EM2 is exactly that. Now, unfortunately, we can't say anything about the Tech 9. Neither of us have used it, but we will keep you apprised on that. If the cheater situation stays good, then we will be getting back to you shortly on that. We'll be playing more Warzone.
Yeah,
we'll have
be
the Tech 9 all leveled
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then we can, let you guys know how the Tech 9 feels. But the EM2, really fun to use. Really fun to use.
Yeah.
All right. I was looking forward to that one. We're back. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was dreading it, actually.
Cool. Okay. I don't know.
Cool.
We're excited to use the Tech 9, but we haven't yet. We'll get back to you. Now on to the new fucking perks, dude. The new perks. So another thing that I did yesterday, because I'm not a fucking coward like Tanner, is I set up all classes to run Tempered and Combat Scout. I ran Overkill, but on my second class, Tempered and Combat Scout. I ran it for the entire broadcast. Every Warzone game I played, I was running it. These are the new perks, by the way.
That's why we only got 2 wins. Got it. You died switching weapons.
We got 3. 4 if you count the Mini Royale where we didn't have to carry deadweight. Ew.
I didn't play Mini Royale.
I know. That's what I just said. Okay. Anyways, Tempered is a red perk. So it takes the place of Ghost, Restock, High Alert, etc. Combat Scout is a yellow perk. Takes the place of Amped, etc. So you're able to use them both. And that's what I did because I'm not a coward. So we're going to give our initial thoughts on these perks today. But we will probably be doing a more in-depth analysis of these on a Patreon episode sometime this month once we've played with them more. Because I have played with them, again, for 4 hours. Tanner hasn't because he's a coward. And
well, that's just wrong, but yeah.
I've checked the VOD. I have a decent idea of how they play, but we need more testing.
Kill check? Score check on that VOD?
And let's do it. Tally it up, bitch. Stop the count, start the count. But we'll have more to say because we both need to play with it more on a serious note. So first we'll start with Tempered, the red perk. So this allows for 1 armor plate to equal 75 health instead of 50. And therefore, to be fully plated, you can only do 2 plates rather than 3. So you don't get more health with Tempered. It's just that you use 1 less armor plate, 1 fewer armor plate. And so you can become fully plated much more quickly because to go from 0 to 100% plated, you only have to do the animation twice rather than 3 times. Kind of straightforward. Now, another hidden sort of benefit of this perk that is not immediately obvious, but once you start playing with it, you'll notice. I noticed beforehand, but is that you run out of plates far less often. Because if you get broken and then take cover and replate, you only consume 2 of your 3 plates. 2 plates instead of 3, rather. So let's say you picked up a satchel, someone breaks your armor, you fully plate up, you repeak. You've gone through, what is that? 2 out of 8? 1/4. 25% of your plates instead of 45% or whatever 3 out of 8 is. That's kind of a big deal, though, because you can fully plate 4 times instead of twice, actually. That's pretty good. And you'll notice that, too. You're not begging for plates ever. I never was out of plates. Like, actually, ever. I didn't even think about this part until right now, but I was just never out of plates. That's pretty interesting. But also, again, you can replate much more quickly because you only have to do it twice. Also, another thing is that if you're shooting someone with Tempered, there is a new icon that denotes that they have that perk. You'll see like a Chad icon instead of like a peasant little pussy plate icon. So you'll know if someone has Tempered because when you shoot them, you'll see a new
makes a different
icon.
sound, different color too. Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's very obvious. So did you use Tempered, and what are your thoughts on it, Tanner Dropshot?
I did. So I used Tempered over Ghost the entire time we were playing. This is the one I used the whole time, not Combat Scout, which we'll get into. Okay, so it's a good perk. I think there's very specific instances, though, where this is amazing, and then other times where it's a perk to use.
Yeah.
So let's say like late game, which we get to a lot because we always win. Late game, this is much more valuable than having Ghost. If there's sub 18 players left, 15 player less left, Ghost isn't that important. Somebody pops a UAV, you're going to be on the UAV. The circle's so small, does it really matter? They kind of expect you to be coming from certain angles. Let's say the circle's ending west of Prom West. So like in the sticks out there by the racetrack, there's like one building. It's like you always expect there's going to be one team in that one building out there. It's kind of like that. If there's that few people left in the circle, Ghost isn't that valuable. Everyone knows where you're at. Ghost is most valuable mid-game, pretty much. Mid-game. So that's when Tempered, I think, gets really good as late game. So being able to like plate up quickly when you're late game like that is very, very important. Because how many times have you died when you start shooting at someone, you crack them, they shoot you with a sniper, you're one shot, you have to hide behind the rock, start plating up. Another one of their teammates push you, they start throwing Semtex at you, so you're forced to move while you're still plating and you die. That happens a lot. And that one plate from having Tempered to not having Tempered can be the difference between you dying or not. Just having... Because I think the difference between plating is about 4 seconds to 6 seconds for the 2 to the 3 plates for using Tempered. So that happens quite a bit in game. This perk completely solves that problem. This is definitely going to be better in trios and quads always. Because Ghost, the higher the player count or the team count, the less valuable Ghost is, in my opinion.
True. Yeah, I agree.
Like, you can't play solos or duos, I don't think, without Ghost. So, Tempered and solos or duos, chalked. I wouldn't even bother, really. Trios and quads, though, this can be a good perk for those specific instances. But Ghost is just so strong, man. It's hard to put anything else in the red category and choose that. First of all, you're never choosing anything over Overkill unless they add a new perk that's somehow entirely better than Overkill, which I doubt it. Or they change it so you can just use 2 primaries off the rip without using Overkill. It's just there's like nothing better than Ghost mid-game. Tempered isn't going to solve that for you. It's a really good perk, but it's just getting overshadowed by that. Like the only people mid-game that Tempered is going to benefit for is like really, really aggro players. The pro players. I feel like we'll start to see this more in like the pro scene is instead of Ghost, people using that. because they want to push people, they want to get kills, they're constantly plating up. And that does get them killed a lot. Hey, Raz killed the number one person in the world. He killed Aiden. Know why he killed Aiden? Aiden was on the stairs plating up.
True.
He was plating up, and Raz. Hey, Raz wouldn't have killed the number one earner in Warzone.
Well,
if he had tempered. If he had, okay, yeah,
well,
okay. If he had tempered,
gunned him, but
so this is a really good perk. Those are my initial impressions on it. Is it better than Ghost most of the time? Absolutely not. There are specific instances where it's really good, but all in all, Ghost is just going to be better 95% of the time, I think. That's what sucks about adding any perks into the red category, is they're just going to get overshadowed because there's so many good perks in there. The high alert changes haven't came in yet, and high alert's a red perk too. So you're going to have high alert, overkill, Ghost, tempered. It's a disaster in the red category. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
So, tempered is a good perk. I don't think this is worth running unless you're playing trios or quads, and probably you're super aggro and always making it to late game. This could also be one of those things where it's like, you know how people like Iron and OP Mark sometimes pick up like a third specific loadout? If you have so much money and you're buying a loadout in game because you've done 7 recons and you have $40,000, maybe that's a time to get tempered, because that's going to benefit you more late game than Ghost will. Sub 20 players, this is going to be really good to use. But you know,
or the second freeloading if you bought your first one. Got the second free one.
Yeah, from probably like 6 to 7 minutes into the game to about 3 minutes before the game ends, Ghost is amazing for that whole time frame. After that, doesn't really matter. Tempered just better. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah. So my experience yesterday, honestly, with tempered, I didn't notice it because I agree with everything you're saying, but we were playing quads the whole time, and I was never in a situation where I needed to replay like quickly, you know?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It's like, it's going to be super good in specific situations for really aggro players. In quads, I don't know, like I'm not playing that way. I'm not pushing fucking a bunch of people. I'm not playing solo trios.
We aren't going for kill records, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Correct. So it just didn't matter to me. It wasn't bad to have. And further, to your point, I didn't really miss Ghost either. That's the thing. I didn't feel like I was missing out on having Ghost because, again, when you're with 4 people, I don't know, man. They know where we are. There's just too many people moving. We're driving vehicles often. So it's like they kind of know where I am anyway. We're slaying the lobby,
yeah.
We're fucking kids up. We're shooting our guns, yeah. So
we're firing guns, yeah.
So I didn't miss Ghost, but I didn't really feel like I benefited from tempered either. Now, again, this is only one play session, and this was in quads.
Yeah.
So, you know, what red perk would I have been running last night? Probably like restock, but even then I feel like I wouldn't have like.
Oh, that was the other one I forgot to list.
Yeah.
Yeah, restock too in the red category.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it that much. I don't know. So overall, yeah, kind of everything you said. I mean, solos, I'm never not using Ghost. You're insane if you don't.
You can't, yeah. People play like fucking rats. You can't.
Yeah. Duos, duos like fucking maybe, but probably not. Probably not. And then like trios actually might be the best place for tempered. Because you're going to be maybe alone more often because you have fewer teammates. I don't know. I think Ghost is overall still probably better. And that's kind of it. I don't feel like tempered is very strong. Again, the most important thing it did for me yesterday was I like never ran out of plates.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's really cool. Like that's really good.
That is really big. That's arguably better than being able to replate quicker. I think that is like undeniably better than just being able to plate quicker, is the fact that you have more armor in reserve because they protect you more, each one of them. So you're getting way more armor if you have a satchel. Because that's what we had talked about this prior. We were like, if they lower like your satchel count when you're running tempered to like 5 or 6, then this perk's going to be worthless. Luckily they didn't do that.
True. Yeah.
This is a good perk, but it's just nothing can go up against Ghost in its current state and be better than it. Like if Ghost only worked if you don't sit still for more than 3 seconds, the red category would be up for grabs. High alert, tempered, it'd be up for grabs. But if you show up on the radar, if you're sitting still longer than 3 seconds, Ghost I don't think would be worth running. But maybe they'll change that with COD 2021. Maybe Ghost in multiplayer will only work if you're moving or something.
Yeah.
Like in some past CODs have been. And that would be great. I would love that. Because they would change that perk in Warzone probably to match that. And I would just love that. So we'll see.
Yeah, overall on Tempered, I think it just warrants more testing. Like, I'm going to use it for quite a while longer and see if I get any more insights from it. Because, again, we only played for 4 hours, man. Like, you know, that's why we said these are first impressions. So,
and that's what sucks.
Tempered,
it's like,
good. But
it is a good perk. It's a good idea, but it's just, it's overshadowed in the red category. There's nothing they can do. And that's why I kind of mentioned something the other day, and I think that was in a Patreon episode, patreon.com/dropshot. I'd mentioned, like, what if they let us pick 4 perks or something? It's like, if they did something like that and split the perks up, then some of these would be way more value. Like, perks that you wouldn't think were that good would be really good. And it's like, in a situation like that, that'd be interesting. But it's just, you can't run anything else other than Ghost.
Yeah. True. Agreed. So we'll come back to you guys on that. And again, we're gonna go more in detail, and we'll have more thoughts the next time we talk about these in a Patreon episode.
Yeah.
So
we'll have a full, like, in-depth episode just relating to these 2 perks, because these are very interesting, and they're the first. Yeah, these are the first Warzone specific perks to come since the game was released a year and a half ago. So this is a pretty big thing in Warzone right now.
Yeah, and by the way, as an aside, to Raven's credit, cool. I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I originally had been a little negative on this point and said, like, 2 dog shit perks no one's going to run, because I thought they were probably both red perks. That's what some people said was the case. It wasn't. Shocker. But Tempered is maybe a little more useful than I thought. I still think Ghost is better, though, so that point still kind of stands. Combat Scout being yellow is interesting, though. So Combat Scout works this way. When you do damage to an enemy, they are highlighted through walls and everything as if you hit them with a snapshot grenade for you. And then they are also live pinged, for everyone on your team, including you, obviously. So the ping function works exactly the same as the ping you all know and love. Well, most of you don't use it. Cringe. Use your fucking pings. It's where you press the ping button on a player, and then there's a little red caret over their head. Many of you probably don't know what I'm talking about because you don't ping enough. Start. Anyways, Combat Scout automatically pings them for you and your teammates. But again, it highlights them through walls and everything for just you. Your teammates don't see the highlight, unlike a snapshot grenade. And this is a yellow perk. So what you're currently running in your yellow slot, or should be, and if you're not, unsubscribe from this podcast, is Amped. And Amped makes you reload rockets more quickly, throw field upgrades more quickly, and throw lethals and tacticals more quickly. So that's what you're giving up to take this perk called Combat Scout. Lastly, if someone is running Cold-Blooded, the blue perk, Combat Scout does not work on them. Which is another interesting consideration, actually. Because blue perks are shit. So me running cold-blooded does not come at any cost to me. I was running cold-blooded, in fact. Because who cares? I lost EOD. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Doesn't matter often, anyway, frankly. So it's countered by that, but nonetheless. My experience with Combat Scout was... It's even better than I thought it was going to be. The highlight stays up for a beat, not too long.
It's about a second, I would say.
Roughly a second, yeah. I would say 1 second or less, which is pretty long, actually, but not too long. It didn't seem too long.
I think it's a perfect length, yeah, because that could have very easily been
agree.
overpowered, and it's not. They made it about the perfect length of time.
I agree. Yeah, it felt useful, but not like dumb and broken. And then the ping stays as long as a normal ping does. So I was surprised by this perk. A lot. So a couple things surprised me. Number one, you don't get wall bangs as often as you think you probably will with this perk, because the reality is, in Warzone, what you want to do, wait for some guy to be running from cover A to cover B. Wait for him to be at the exact midpoint so he's as far away from cover as possible. Then start shooting him so he has nowhere to go. And then it doesn't matter if he's highlighted. He's in the open. He's dead if I have no perks. Doesn't matter. That happens a lot. But sometimes you're shooting someone who's in a building or close to a building or in a doorway, and then they run behind the door, whatever. And then having Combat Scout is potentially useful because you can bang them, wall bang them, shoot them through cover. I was surprised by how few things are bangable in Warzone, actually. Not too much bangable shit going on. I tried, but there are a lot of surfaces that just I didn't get anything on. However, I did get a wall bang. A fucking nice wall bang that I would not have gotten without Combat Scout.
True.
So I literally got a kill in Warzone, and this was 3 teams left. Like, this was endgame, so it actually mattered a lot to get this kill. I got that kill with Combat Scout that I would not have otherwise gotten, because he ran into a doorway, and he went right, and he could have gone left. And I didn't know exactly where to the right he had gone if I didn't have Combat Scout. But because I did, I banged the fuck out of him. See ya. Down. And it was beautiful. And I was like, and I started guffawing. I was happy. I was like, damn, nice, dude. I got a wall bang. I even said, I was like, oh, I banged him. Well. It was great. It was great. In game, of course. So Combat Scout, surprisingly fucking useful. Surprisingly good. Now, I would like to ask the perspective of my teammates, because this is another thing where it's like live pinging enemies becomes more and more useful the larger your team size is. So if I ping some guy and I'm playing solos, cool. I pinged him for myself. I already know where he is. It's still helpful to track him through bushes and shit, but not terribly helpful all the time. But in quads, for example, I'm live pinging for 3 of my teammates. And I'll say, oh, he's here. And then everyone just looks around for the carrot, finds it, fucks him. Did you notice more pings coming out of me using Combat Scout? Was that a factor for you?
Nope, not at all.
Cool.
I didn't even think about that until you said that right now. Because if you're playing with teammates with a brain, they should be pinging every time they're shooting at someone anyways. Anytime I see a person and I fire my gun, I'm pinging that person. So not once during that session yet did I ever think, oh my god, I'm so glad somebody on my team is running fucking Combat Scout so I know where the enemies are. No, because I'm playing with competent individuals that know to ping people. Right. If you're playing with teammates that are not the best, to be nice, dog shit, cat shit maybe.
Cat shit teammates, yeah.
Then maybe that would be a difference, yeah. But it's like, my teammates aren't dumb. I don't play with dumb people. It's that simple. And this perk has been interesting. Everyone that's been saying this perk is OP, frankly, have been pissing me off. Have you never fucking ran Amped? Have you not been running Amped the last fucking year and a half?
Right.
You are fucking crazy to think this perk is overpowered being in the yellow category with Amped. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Seriously. Let me tell you something. Amped is the most useful perk in Warzone. It's more valuable than Ghost. It's more valuable. It is. Don't give me that look, bitch. I had to play with you for 3.5 hours listening to you complain about your weapon swap speed 100 times. About your throwable speed 100 times.
Okay,
I don't want to hear it. We'll watch the VOD, pussy. You make me furious. The VOD, yeah. You make me furious.
Okay, dude.
Now, one thing a few people in Discord have brought up, which I definitely agree with. This helps with the cat shit visibility in Warzone, which is really bad. And Raz and I complain about all the time. So you shoot someone, even in the open, that's helping you a lot, because that person is bright red.
Actually.
It feels like I'm playing BO4 again. Everyone's just bright red. They're pinged.
I can see enemies on my screen. It's crazy.
It's crazy being able to see people.
Yeah.
Now, is that better than using Amped? No. If you don't ever snipe and like only use an assault rifle, I think Combat Scout is the perk for you. But if you're sniping, if you're using a Swiss in a car and any other gun, Combat Scout is just not going to be a good idea, because Amped is going to be so much better for you. You can't run a sniper ever and at some point not have to switch your weapon really quickly. And when you have to do that, Amped is going to benefit you every time. Combat Scout's not going to do anything for you. Here's the thing. I don't need someone to be pinged red. You know why, Raz? Because when I shoot someone, they're dead. They don't need to be bright red.
I'm rolling my eyes, listeners.
I get out my Swiss and I one-tap them. And they're dead. Now, is it beneficial to have them live pinged? It's really beneficial. But I'm live pinging them anyways because I'm not an idiot. Is it beneficial seeing them run into a room and see if they go upstairs, downstairs, right, left, straight? Absolutely. That's good, but it's only showing that for probably 1 second. I would love for someone to test that and see what it stays up for. It's probably about 1 second. It's a perfect time. This perk, if they stayed red for 2 or 3 seconds, I would consider busted and overpowered. In its current state, not at all. I think this is a good perk, really good perk. I think it's well balanced. They implemented it perfectly, but it's hard for me to run over Amped. I tried to run it, I couldn't. Amped is too good. But it's because I snipe. If you're not sniping, you're not going to notice that as much. But I'm constantly swapping guns because I'm sniping, and I use my sniper for close range. I use it for long range. So it's like I'm always going back and forth. So not having the ability to switch quickly really, really sucks. And I don't think that's worth losing just to get a perk that shows someone's as red for a second and then live pings the enemy for a few seconds, even though I'm already doing that. It's just not worth it for me. This perk, I think, may be better for like casuals, kids that aren't quite as good, and they just run one gun, because most people don't snipe in Warzone. Most people are just running like an AR and an SMG, or they're just using an AR and not even thinking about swapping guns. And that this perk is going to be really beneficial to those people. So if you're that person, then use Combat Scout. But if you ever swap your gun once in a round of Warzone, then I would definitely use Amped. No doubt about it. So people saying this is OP, frankly, make me furious. 10 minutes after the update came out, Joe Woe posted a clip and he was like, whoa, Combat Scout is fucking OP. And it's him shooting people in the open in Rebirth and then pinging as red. And he's like, bro, this is insane. Joe Woe, shut the fuck up. You're insane. You would have destroyed those kids anyways. What is it? Them showing up in red has nothing to do with you shitting on that lobby. Solos versus trios. You're one of the best players in the world. You don't need somebody to ping red for a minute. So cringe. Content creators making clickbait titles. Really good perk. Worth using over Amped? Absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
Cool.
So... okay, a lot was said there.
A lot was said, because I'm furious about it, because people keep saying it's overpowered, and it's not.
Well, let's start there. Is this perk overpowered? Of course, absolutely fucking not. No.
Everyone seems to
Especially
think so.
because you're giving up amps. There's no chance this perk is overpowered. If anything's overpowered, it's actually amps. I mean, that's the thing. Combat Scout is not overpowered, no. So I agree with you, Tanner, that the pinging doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Because as you said, I'm going to ping anyway. You guys aren't. You should run Combat Scout because fuck you and you don't ping. But I ping anyway, so for me, yeah, of course it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the highlight thing, I actually found it more useful than I had expected to. So the wallbang kill I got, and I got it because of Combat Scout. Okay, before the perk was live, that is what I expected the utility of Combat Scout to be. I expected it to start and end there. So that's obvious that it's going to help you wallbang someone far away when you crack them, but they run behind into a building. Sure. What I found surprisingly useful, though, was there were many times, actually, where I would be in a building and someone would be outside of it, or vice versa, and we would be kind of fighting in the doorway, and I would shoot someone, and if I'm in the building, they would run out, or if I'm outside, they would run in. Let's say I'm in the building, they're outside the building, okay. I shoot them in the doorway, or through the doorway. I crack their plates. They scurry off. Because I had Combat Scout, I knew where they went. And that's actually really good, because even though it's only going to last for a second, if I see you going hard right for a whole second, I know where you went, dude. I know where you went. And if I didn't have Combat Scout, I wouldn't know that. So without Combat Scout, I would crack the guy's plates, he would run out of the doorway, and he would disappear. And then if I went to follow him, I would have to rely on sound cues. Don't do that in Warzone. That's a great way to get killed. Audio's dog shit. Or if I didn't hear him, I would just have to kind of look around or whatever. And in those scenarios, you can lose time by checking everywhere, or you can just die because they went somewhere you didn't think they would go. You turn left, they're right, and they're waiting at that door to fuck your ass. And then you looked left, they're 180 degrees behind you, you're dead, see ya. Combat Scout in those situations was actually the much more helpful use for that perk than wallbanging people who run into buildings. I only got one fucking wallbang in 4 hours. Being able to hunt people when I damaged them and they ran into or out of a building, respectively, that happened actually pretty fucking often. And I would crack some guy, he runs out of the building, and because I had Combat Scout, I know he went right. So then I sprint out, I turn right because I know he's there, and I only know he's there because of Combat Scout, and I'm able to finish the kill really easily. That is a benefit I did not really think about or expect to be as beneficial as it was, as often as that happened. The problem is, you give up amps to take this perk. Another surprise, I did not miss the weapon swap speed very much. Once you get used to having normal, no amped weapon swap speed, you can adapt to it. It's not great, and you have to be smarter about your swaps, but
I'm
you
not
can do
going
it.
to adapt. Yeah, no way.
That's what I expected to miss the most from amped, but it's not. I missed the lethal throwing speed the most. That fucking sucks. And that's what makes this so hard to run, is that, man, you can't. So Tanner and I always talked about, we love thermals because they're thermites because they're so versatile and they can do everything, one of which is finish people. Well, I was running Combat Scout. I'm in a building. I crack some guy. He runs out of the building. He turns left. I run out because I know he turns left because I have Combat Scout. Cool. Down him because he's one shot. And then I'm getting shot by his teammate on the roof, but I'm like, oh, no problem. This guy's down 5 meters from me. Let me just stick him with this thermite real quick. I'm going to run back into this building. I'm going to get the thirst, and we're vibing. Wrong. Because I didn't have amped. So I instead ran out, got the down. I pressed my throw lethal button. And then I started the long, laborious process of throwing a thermite without amped. And it takes 5 minutes. And I was like, fuck! And then I got downed.
You're dead before that thermite's even out of your hands, man.
That's literally what happened. I didn't throw the thermite.
It's awful.
I started throwing it and then I died first. Whereas if I had amped, quick little stick and I'm alive 100% of the time.
And we use thermites for situations like that all the time. People usually think like lethals are to, you know, I don't know, get somebody out from behind a rock, block a doorway or something. But no, like if I'm in a gunfight with someone and I keep missing them, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to die unless I get them quickly. So I'm going to throw a thermite, stick them, and then they'll go run away and hide and get scared. And yeah, you can't do that without amped. You really just can't.
Yeah.
So this is a really, really good perk, but amped is just better. It's that simple. It's just better. So like they added in 2 perks that are, I think they put a lot of thought into. They're really good ideas. They're balanced. They implemented them well. But there's so many better perks in the game right now that it's hard to use the new perks they added in. Now, it's like, obviously, I don't think they expect every single person to use their new perks. That would just be dumb if we have, how many perks? Like 20 different perks in the game and people are just like running the same red perk and the same yellow perk that they just added in. That's kind of dumb. But yeah, for one, this perk is not overpowered.
Yeah, we agree on that.
It's not overpowered at all. And I only think it's worth running if you don't snipe and you are okay with really, really bad weapon swap speed and bad throwable speed. I feel like it makes you put your first plate in slower. Is that a thing or not?
I don't know. I've heard that.
I feel like it does.
Too.
I don't know though.
I didn't notice it. If so, but I haven't played Warzone in a while. Or hadn't. I will say this. If I had remembered that I wasn't running amped, I wouldn't have died there because I wouldn't have tried it.
Yeah.
So again, kind of like the weapon swap thing. If that's something I was used to and adjusted for, it might be worth running over amped. I don't know yet. I haven't totally signed this off. I expected this to be unambiguously worse than amped. I don't think that anymore.
Really?
I'm not sure. This needs more testing from me. I'm going to use it a lot more and see.
Yeah.
And if I get used to that throwing speed, then we can kind of work from there. You know what this might do is change the lethal I use. Because most of the time I use thermites to finish people, actually.
Yeah.
And then I
I
use thermite instead of throwing knife because I like to also be able to stick vehicles with. That's probably the second most often purpose for it for me. So I might change my lethal because I don't know what I would change it to. I'd have to think about it. But thermite got a lot less useful because you can still use it to finish people. It's just going to take longer and you have to be like safe to do it. And then at that point, it's like you could probably just shoot him at that point anyway. So I don't know.
True.
You know, so it's interesting. But this warrants more testing from me. I'm not sold on this being worse than
yeah.
And we'll talk about that in the Patreon episode.
Yeah, this Patreon episode will probably be like the last one of the month or something, or the second to last. Because I think we'll probably do 2 Warzone gameplay streams this next week, and probably for both of them, I'm gonna use just these 2 perks the entire sessions, no matter what, just to try some more and get more thoughts on. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, again, as we mentioned, Cold-Blooded does negate Combat Scout. And I did notice some people using Cold-Blooded. And it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, because
I was running Combat Scout.
Yeah, because you'll shoot them and it'll like give you a little notice saying, I don't know what it says, but basically it's like, don't care, they're running Cold-Blooded, but something pops up on your screen and it tells you that.
I don't remember that. I just remember them not lighting up, but maybe there is a pop-up.
There's like, it says something. I can't. It's like 3 or 4 words on your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like can't mark them or something. I don't know.
In any case, the question is Cold-Blooded worth running now that Combat Scout is a perk?
So I don't know about you, but I didn't get shot by too many people with Combat Scout. I was surprised, really, because, I kept seeing on Twitter, like, everyone was like, dude, Combat Scout's OP, and I'm like, oh, man, that's weird. But I didn't encounter it too many times. Like, there were probably...
I didn't either. Yeah, you're right.
Honestly, in that whole time we played 3.5 hours, I probably only 5 or 6 different times I got shot that I knew that they had Combat Scout, because it gives you a different sound than it...
Yeah, there's a little sound.
Yeah, so it kind of tells you. So I encountered it far less than I thought I would. It's like maybe a lot of these players are just super casual and didn't even realize there was a new perk added in. I don't know, because I expected to run into it a lot more. So I think running Cold-Blooded entirely depends on how often you're seeing Combat Scout. If it gets to the point where every single time somebody shoots me and they have Combat Scout, then it's like, oh, obviously I'm just going to run Cold-Blooded. But then it's like the meta will swap. Everyone's going to run Cold-Blooded and then Combat Scout's useless. So
just like launch,
thermal
HDR,
exactly.
Everyone runs Cold-Blooded, everyone stops using thermal HDR, everyone stops using Cold-Blooded.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I was running Cold-Blooded and I didn't feel like I missed EOD, but the blue perks are kind of shit, so it's fine. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's, like Tanner said, I think if I notice I'm getting shot by a lot of people with Combat Scout, I'll switch to it. But until such time, doesn't exactly matter, in my view. Because lethals, the reality is, lethals in this game, the more and more I play it, the less and less I think EOD matters. Because lethals are very avoidable. And if you can't avoid a lethal... So if you're in a situation where you have to eat a lethal, and you wish you had EOD because you're about to eat the lethal, guess what? Even if you have EOD, you're obviously trapped. You're probably fucking dead anyway. You're in a shit situation if you can't avoid that lethal. So I don't think EOD actually matters that much.
Yeah.
I think it'll take them one more lethal to kill you, but you're in such a bad situation where you had to eat the lethal in the first place that you're going to die regardless. So it doesn't actually matter that much. That's kind of how I feel about EOD now. So if I'm not running Cold-Blooded, I would be running double time at this point. Might as well get some extra sprint and crouch walking speed, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so I think Cold-Blooded's fine. I think it's fine to run. It just depends on how often you're encountering Combat Scout. New Gulag. It is small as fuck, square, symmetrical.
Very symmetrical, yeah.
The most couldn't be more symmetrical, really. And fantastic. I love it. I think it is perfectly fine. It's what every Gulag should have been. There's not that many places they can be or you can be, so pretty easy to find people. And I think that is exactly how it should be, and it comes down to oftentimes gunfights. Now, of course, there are still stuns in the Gulag. Cringe. And you will die to those. But other than that, this is easily the best Gulag we've ever had. No fucking question. And it's because it's the smallest, so you have less time to go find some dumb rat spot. But also, there are no such rat spots anyway, even if you did have time to find them. And it's super symmetrical again. So I like this Gulag a lot. I think it's perfect. I think it is what every Gulag in the future should be modeled after. And also, I don't notice footstep audio from spectators nearly as much. I don't remember noticing it at all, actually. I'm sure if I tried, I would figure it out, but it's certainly not as bad spectator footstep audio as the hijacked Gulag was, where you could just not hear anything if someone was running around above you.
Not a goddamn
I mean, you could literally go above enemy spawns if your teammate was in the Gulag and just run back and forth to grief them, and they won't be able to hear a goddamn thing. Really embarrassing game. But this gulag, the spectators, I don't know where they are, but they're not that close. So everything about this gulag I really like. The only problem is the guns and lethals themselves. Stuns, cringe. But other than that, I have no issues with this gulag. I think it's fantastic. What are your thoughts?
This is my personal favorite gulag yet, I think. Everyone loved gulag showers. I hated it. That's the original reason I didn't like the gulag, was because gulag showers fucking sucked. Still don't get why people think that was good. It was awful. It was 2 lanes that were about 12 inches wide between the fucking shower stalls, the whatever the hell it was. Awful, awful map.
Yeah.
It's just like people always look back and think like the original was the best. Stop. Gulag showers fucking suck. Did almost all of the other gulags suck? Of course they did. Gulag showers also suck though. Stop pretending it's really good. This gulag, undoubtedly my best one. My favorite one by a mile. I don't really see how people can dislike this one if they like gulag showers, because it's symmetrical. It's small. You're in gunfights within 5 seconds. It's just balance. What else do you want from it? What could be different about it that can make it better for you? So I'm 4 for 4 on it. I was frying kids. What I kept noticing is people kept running down. I think 2 of my 4 kills were like kids running down like one side. So they would spawn and they would go far left, walk along the wall and look straight. And I would just be at mid and I'd be like, what is this kid doing? And I would look directly to my right. He would be looking directly in front of him, not aiming at me at all. And I would just one burst him with my Gulag M16. I just keep thinking like, what are these kids doing that they're staring directly in front of them? It's like people don't know how to play this yet. And it's symmetrical. What more do you want? It's simple. It's the easiest Gulag to learn. So I really, really like it. Yeah, this is definitely going to go down as my favorite, because Gulag showers fucking sucked for sure. And this is, I don't see how this could be more balanced. Like, I know Raz had one complaint about the lethals, and he complained about that when we were streaming too, because that happened to him a couple times. He got stunned and died.
And then I died. Yep.
It's crazy because I'm not kidding. I think every single time in the Gulag, I had killed the other person before we even had throwables. I'm not kidding. Because it's just, the map is so small, I just kill them. So Raz, kill them faster. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't have that issue. I never threw a stun. Let me tell you what happened. They were dead. Stop camping.
Okay, that's what's interesting. I want you to keep this energy. Here's what happened. Match started. I immediately started moving. I made it to his spawn. Didn't see him still, because he must have gone on the opposite lane. We didn't see each other. So I was in his spawn, and then he stunned me. So I wasn't camping. I moved literally across the map and then died to a stun.
You camp.
And when it happens to you, I want you to remember this moment and lament.
If I get stunned in the Gulag, I'm backing out of the game.
Okay,
so it won't
keep
happen
that energy.
To me. Clip it. It won't happen to me. I'll back out.
Please clip it. Please clip it. Nope. I want you to keep this energy.
Pussy.
Anyways. Yeah. Yeah,
really good Gulag.
Like Chris said in chat, it's so small that if you do get stunned, you're totally fucked. However, if you got stunned in any Gulag, you're probably fucked.
That doesn't
because
really matter.
They're all small enough to where they can sprint to you in time to kill you. I've never been stunned in the Gulag and survived. Like, it just doesn't happen. They can get onto you quickly enough because they get a hit marker. They know they got it, and they know where they threw their stun. So as soon as they get a hit marker, they just sprint to where their stun was. You're dead. See ya. So that doesn't matter. So that's not the detriment of a small map. It's the detriment of stun grenades in the Gulag. Cringe. So overall, though, fantastic Gulag. Yeah.
No wall banging like I thought that it may had. I feel like those screenshots they posted of it just weren't even the Gulag. On that road map, I don't know what that screenshot was. Looks nothing like anywhere on the Gulag, though. But that's fine.
It looks like the middle of it, but...
It doesn't, because the middle is like one of those big inflatable things, but it's wood.
Cool, man.
End it all.
Well, Activision's lied to us before. They could have doctored a screenshot.
They don't.
That's not. I wouldn't put it past them. So, cool. All right. Tanner, what are your final thoughts here? You've written something down. I'd like for you to share with the class.
Yeah, I can share with the class. So I know everyone is talking about lackluster update, the worst one ever. Sure, I get it. Do you expect anything else though? Do you expect a new fucking map with Season 5? What are you bitching about?
Right.
If you expected anything more than what we got, that is literally your fault and only your fault. If you think they're going to spend a bunch of time making major changes to Warzone right now when we're allegedly, supposedly getting a new map in 3 months, you're fucking crazy. That's your fault for getting too excited. Last season, awful. Nothing new. Big shocker, right? This season, nothing new. Are you still shocked? You shouldn't be. Your fault if you're shocked. We knew it was going to be this way. Now, this season, I will say, is definitely going to pick up. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening with COD 2021, aka Vanguard, potentially. Never been officially announced. We're getting all these little teasers and little cutscenes. Possibly a trailer or something happen next week on August 19th, which is Thursday. Be on the lookout for that. Something's probably happening that day. So there's going to be some things happening, but if I don't know what else you were expecting. It has a battle pass. It has 2 new guns. It has the most minor changes to a map like the last 2 seasons. Like what else did you really expect? It's a lackluster update, and it's because the devs have completely swapped focus to the next map and the next everything. They're working on getting the guns for the Call of Duty game that hasn't been released yet into Warzone. All that shit's being worked on. We're going to have minimal Warzone updates in terms of like map overall gameplay until November. If you got excited, that is your fault. This is the way it's going to be. The new guns are fine. Everything's good. The perks are cool. I'm glad they added a new Warzone specific perks. I don't know how much they're going to be used yet. Still really early. They're both good perks, overshadowed by even better perks in my opinion. And lastly, the game Warzone is a really fun game. It's nuts.
Yeah,
Warzone is a fun game if you don't die to a cheater every 30 to 40 minutes. It's crazy. Imagine having fun in a video game. Who would have thought? So it was nice to feel that yesterday, playing Warzone for a few hours. And just like not get mad is very odd to me, playing Warzone that way. So crazy. Warzone's a good game if you're not dying to cheaters. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, this season, very lackluster, but it's what I expected. I knew it was going to be this way. And I mean, technically, it's more content to last season. We got new perks. That's already more than we got last season. So
that's what I was gonna say.
Overall,
like
yeah. I mean, these are good changes. It's what I expected. I'm happy with it, and hopefully, I'll be happier in 3 months when we have another seamless transition that possibly leads to an entirely new map.
Yeah, seamless. All right. I think this update was. I mean, so we can start here. Was this better than is Season 5 better than Season 4 Reloaded? Categorically, by orders of magnitude. Season 4, categorically, by orders of magnitude. So this is actually, in terms of updates lately, this is a really good update. Now, some people are saying lackluster, I'm bored, whatever.
Apex is better.
Apex is better, yeah. That's not Season 5's fault. That's new seasons. That's Warzone's fault, really. I mean, there's only so much they can do before we need a new fucking map and a new fucking game. And until such time, no matter what they do, it's going to feel lackluster. Honestly. I mean, what could they do outside of a new map to really freshen things up in Warzone? Not much.
Not much, yeah.
I don't know if they could do anything. Because at this point, we've been playing the same map for almost 2 years. the only really transformative things that have happened have been changes in which weapons are the best weapons. That's pretty much it. And Season 5 brought us 2 new Warzone-specific perks. That's a first. That's very cool. I think this is one of the better seasons Warzone has ever had. Maybe the best season in terms of new content, because there are new perks, and they are actually potentially worth using. Tempered and Combat Scout are new content, or pieces of new content, that are, again, potentially, the jury's still out on this, but potentially fundamentally different than the RCXD killstreak, for example. That's an example of new content that doesn't matter at all because it is never worth using, unambiguously. It's just not worth using. So they spend all this time, all these resources, adding something to the game that no one gives a fuck about. I have never seen an RCXD in Verdansk once, ever. Think about that.
Oh, I've seen them.
I haven't.
Have I had more than one plate broken by the RCXD? Of course not. They don't do anything.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Well,
people use them when they first came out, but did I ever die to one? You'd have to be AFK to die to one of those. AFK or a 0.14 KD. Yeah, they're
right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, like lately, I never see it. And they've done in other seasons many things like this, just adding a bunch of shit that doesn't fucking matter at all. So Season 5 is good on its vis-a-vis other Warzone seasons because of these new perks that could be really good. And again, they still need to be tested more by us and by the community at large. So I don't think this update is lackluster. I think people feeling that way are just tired of Warzone because it's on the same map and it's the same game at the end of the day. And I hate that phrase. And people are just ready for the next COD, the next Warzone map, the next Warzone game, client, what have you, whatever. So I get the feeling that people have, like, oh god, this is just the same old shit, is what, is the kind of the feeling, this malaise. But I think a lot of you are mistaking your weariness of Warzone with an underwhelming season. I don't think it's that. I think it's just you're just tired of Warzone. Jesus Christ, can we stop? Hold on, sorry, fucking cringe. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. So yeah, the new perks I think are great. I think it's cool. I'm excited to try them. And again, far more importantly than anything I just said is this. The game didn't have many cheaters last time we played, and that's why it was fun. Season 5 could have been just this. We didn't change a goddamn thing, but you won't have cheaters in your games anymore, and I would have been thrilled. That could have been Season 5. No new battle pass, no tiers, no new guns. Cool, don't care. But there's no cheaters. Cool, that's the best season ever. That's the reality for me and for a lot of players. And when we played on Friday/yesterday, okay, English, that is the experience that I had. I had way more fun because there were no cheaters than I did because I was using a new gun or because I was using new perks. That was cool. It was novel. It was cute. It was neat. But it didn't make Warzone much more fun for me than it otherwise would be. What made Warzone more fun for me than it otherwise would be was the fact that I was not getting my ass repeatedly fucked by cheaters every single goddamn game for 4 hours. That's what the real fun thing was for me. So, overall, I'm happy with Season 5. And hopefully I don't see cheaters anymore. But are the new perks breathing new life into the game? No, of course they're not. The game is stale. The game is stale. We've been on the same map for 2 years, and they change the meta with every season as if that just makes this a whole new world. It doesn't. We're all used to you changing the meta every couple of months and it doesn't matter because in a week, everyone figures out what the new meta is. Guess what it is? It's a fully automatic assault rifle with the same 5 attachments that we've had for 2 fucking years. I mean, it's not gonna change that much. If you give us a new gun, it's just a new fucking weapon skin that we're going to put the same shit on and use the same fucking way. I mean, it doesn't change that much. The game is stale, guys. I get it. Yeah. I know. But the stale game is still fun when there aren't cheaters. So overall, I'm happy with the changes. They're fine, but the game is still stale. And we're all waiting for COD 2021. Tanner and I included. We're all waiting.
The game is so stale, we could give you the MP40 setup that's going to be used in December now, because it's going to be the same as every other setup, right? It's not going to change. It's going to be the same barrel. It's going to be the last suppressor. Cringe. How many times do they use suppressors in World War II? Not often, but it's going to be in the game. It's going to be an optic. You know, it's just going to be the same.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that would make this game better right now is a new map, and that's not coming for a few months.
That's really what it needs, yeah.
Yeah, they can add in 50 new guns, and I wouldn't care. It needs a new map at this point.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the things BO4 did sort of well, was that a lot of their new guns were like actually different. Like, because they had operator mods, number one, that allowed for some cute little... configurations. So for example, they added the what gun did they add? It was a tac rifle, but it shot projectiles and not bullets. In the operator mod, they exploded. What was it called?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me, dude. The shark? It's like a shark or something?
Oh.
No, not Tiger Shark was an excellent LMG, but that's not what it was.
What was that gun?
Dude, that thing fucked.
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, let's look this up. Okay, hold on. Black Ops 4 DLC guns.
Stingray?
Stingray. The Stingray, yeah. So the Stingray, for example, that was a new gun that was so different than a gun that it was actually... that it actually freshened up the game. You know what I mean? Because it fired fléchette rounds.
Flechette.
Yeah, fléchette. I think that's how it's pronounced. I looked it up this morning.
It's not fléchette. It's whatever you said is wrong. I know that.
Okay. Go to Google, type in fléchette pronunciation, and listen.
Your aunt owns Google. She probably just changed it for you, so you can
just to fuck with me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fuck your aunt.
That gun was different enough to where it actually did freshen up the game because it was so different. But like in Warzone, we've never gotten anything like that. I mean, the closest
we got the DMR.
Analog,
that one tapped everyone.
The closest thing we got was a crossbow. Because it's different, sure, but it fucking sucks. So, cool, no one used it. You know. So anyways, yeah, don't expect new guns to make this game feel exciting. It won't. You're going to put the same 5 attachments on. And you're going to use it the same exact way. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
If anyone's wondering what the EM2 build is, take any Cold War assault rifle you've been using for the last 5 months and put those same attachments on your EM2. It's going to be just fine. You'll figure it out, I promise.
When my EM2 was level 1, I knew what I would use it for when it was max level in Warzone.
Yep.
Axial arms, task force, agency suppressor, field agent, and whatever magazine attachment is the 4th one on the list. That's it. It's always that. That is the setup. Don't care what gun you're using.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Or AR or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you expect the game to feel fucking fresh when you're doing the same shit to the same guns. And it's all full auto ARs. Anyways, with no recoil now. So, anyways. All in all, I had a lot of fun yesterday, and I hope that we can continue to play without cheaters, and I will continue to have a lot of fun, because I love this game. When there aren't people just hip fire shitting on me. And I don't care if it's stale. But let's get a new map though.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tanner?
Nope.
All right.
Whoa, I was about to be furious.
Yeah, you were ready for it, huh? Get baited, bitch. All right. That's it, boys and girls. Those were our first impressions of Season 5. As we said, we will be going over the new perks specifically in far more detail after we've tested them more. And we will be doing that on our Patreon. Patreon.com/thedropshot. We do 5 bonus EPs a month. For as little as $5 a month. Get a lot of extra content. You get access to the entire back catalog. We've got over 50 EPs. So if you're real bored at work and real dumb and really want to waste your money, you can sign up. It's the best way to support us. We get the most bang for your buck, and you get the most bang for your buck through Patreon as well. So waste your money there first. And then if you want to waste any extra money on top, see the show notes. Plenty of links for you to piss away your earnings on for the show. And we really do appreciate you guys. It means a lot. We enjoy this podcast, and we are very excited for COD 2021. Once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. Sign up, please. Thedropshot.com. You can find links to the Patreon and everything else there. TikTok, YouTube, where the video podcast is hosted, and other links that you might, the Discord, join the fucking Discord, which you might find useful. And yeah, that is that. We've got the tournament, the Dropshot Invitational number 3, live stream on August 21st, 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be the best one yet. The production value will be insane. It's going to make the World Series of Warzone look like a 7-year-old's PS4 live stream. That's what it's going to look like in comparison to our production.
Yeah,
yes, that's
true.
That is of course true. So make sure you're there to witness it. It's going to go down in the annals of internet history as one of the best pieces of media ever produced of all time. So figure it out. That is it, boys and girls. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.